Cameroun. Tiesek beze bena, benarote regen well. Tout corina ndang, tout ton colon kiss Cameroun. Mentoxi menéa.
Ensemble, main dans la main, pour préserver l'unité de notre cher et beau pays, le Cameroun.
C'est un message de Royal FM, la radio des auditeurs.
Royal FM, il est 14h.
Subscribe to Maso Gold. Maso Gold, conceived for the total fulfillment of all and sundry.
The 2Pm Newscast
with
Germaine Tah.
Good afternoon, good people, and thanks for joining us for the 2 p.m. news on Royal FM 88.4. But first, the main points. Gunmen have opened fire to civilians in Nancho Junction, Bamenda, last Sunday. The gruesome killing, which led to the death of 10 people, is described by these drug strategists as
barbaric acts. I think for once these atrocities should stop. The government should do something to put an end to it.
Out of the country, former president of DR Congo, Joseph Kabila, rejects accusation from neighboring Uganda of allowing Islamist rebel group to exploit mineral resources. And in sports, Feka Football has announced FIFA donation of $6.5 million to construct community stadia. Those were the headlines. Details in a jiffy. Good afternoon once more. Prime Minister, Head of Government, Chief Dr. Joseph John Gute is representing the President of the Republic, His Excellency Paul Biya, at the 18th Conference of Speakers and Officers of the Commonwealth Africa region. Our Director of Information, Abel Balasamaris, attended the event. Good afternoon, Abel.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Yaoundé Conference Center, where the 18th Conference of Speakers and Presiding Officers of the Commonwealth African region has kicked off this Tuesday, July the 18th, 2023. Presiding over this opening ceremony was Prime Minister, Head of Government, Chief Dr. Joseph John Gute, personal representative of the Head of State, President Paul Biya. The conference has as theme African Parliament and Agenda 2063. It is the first time Cameroon is hosting the Commonwealth Conference of Speakers and presiding officers of the African region. For close to 4 days, the different Commonwealth parliamentarians will be deliberating on different issues relating to the growth of the African continent. The 21 delegates for this conference are drawn mostly from the English-speaking regions of Africa, plus Gabon, who is also a member of the Commonwealth. It will interest you to know that it was on the 13th of November 1995 that Cameroon became a member of the Commonwealth due to the fact that English is one of its official language, and Cameroon as well. Reporting from the National Assembly at the Yaoundé Conference Center, my name is Abel Bela Samari.
Keep on being our eyes and ears over there, Abel. And here now is the Prime Minister, Head of Government, Chief Dr. Joseph John Gute, who presided over the opening ceremony. Abel Bela Samari captured his reaction. Let's listen to him in the foreign excerpt.
Having reviewed past achievements and the challenges of the future, and unaware of their responsibilities, the heads of state and government seized the opportunity of the 50th anniversary of the Organization of African Unity, OAU, now the African Union, to renew their commitment to implementing the Pan-African vision for the development of the continent, as set up by the heads of state and government. This version is that of, I quote, an integrated, prosperous and peaceful Africa led by its own citizens and representing a dynamic force on the international scene. The mandate of the African Union Commission will therefore be to draw, with the support of technical partners, a 50-year continental development program on the basis of the process led by African citizens.
Prime Minister, Chief Dr. Joseph John Gute reacts. And the Ministry of Defense has condemned the barbaric attack on citizens in Bamenda, which led to the death of 10 people and 2 others wounded. In a press release made public yesterday, the Defense Minister said combined efforts are already on the way to crack down perpetrators of the despicable act. You read through that press release with address strategies and compile this report, Mapalazita.
According to the ministry's words, the bloody scene of Sunday evening was carried out by a secessionist armed group with innocent citizens losing their lives. Alemkeng Richard says it is normal for government to speak out after such an incident.
The MINDEF communique, I think it is a routine. For me, the communique, though it is comforting, though it is a right for them, it is their duty to do so, but they don't comfort Cameroonians. We are sick of this situation. Actually, the situation does no longer resemble Cameroon.
Talking about how the killings are being carried out in recent times, the geostrategists say the method does not matter because no one knows who exactly is an enemy.
I wouldn't say they have a strategy. You know, we are involved in an asymmetric war in which the opponent you don't know, even the person in front of you can be one of the terrorists. The strategy remains theirs, but the government needs to go further, and the indigenes need to take a new approach, take their destiny to their hands.
Totally waiting on the state to restore peace, Alemkeng Richard say will be a far-fetched story.
If we want to be counting on the government and the security people, I doubt where we are going to arrive. And the strategies that these guys are using work so much because the indigenes are naive. If the indigenes were a bit vigilant, a bit intelligent and collaborative, I think separatists will be sensitized, and such brutal actions will leave our society.
But just what about the elites in these conflict-plagued regions?
The elites, for the moment, can be kept aside because when they come in, they are going to politicize it. It will take a different tune. The local indigenes should take care of their destiny, and I think the perpetrators themselves will come to understand that each and every person has a life, and every individual needs to live in a society where there is peace and tranquility.
The prayer of every Cameroonian, therefore, is an end to the bloodshed.
Mapalazita in that report. Following the tragic events that occurred in Nacho Junction, our student intern Awasiri Darin interviewed some Yaoundé city dwellers to get their reactions as the government urged Bamenda city dwellers to remain calm. Take a listen to our report.
Some Yaoundé city dwellers are unhappy as some of their loved ones were being killed in the Nancho massacre and are not willing to stay calm.
Humanly right that people will be an innocent people, they don't know something, and you just fire a gun and take off their life. How can that, and how can you ask us to be calm? So it's impossible, seriously.
They have to by now perpetrate the incident because it is very bad for someone to leave the house and don't come back. Being killed for a crime you are not aware of.
While others are in fury, some have decided to stay calm and face the situation as it is.
I have to be calm, though the pain is still there, but the thing here is that there's nothing that we can do. But as he said, we have to be calm, and I'm not sure that everybody in Bamenda, though the pain is still there, they will not be able to maybe to take it back. The only thing here, there's nothing we can do. And then we only hope on God that God should help us, and then all this struggle that we are passing through, the killings is too much, so we have to only calm down, and then the thing is that we have to.
The minister has announced that measures have been taking place to apprehend the murder case that took place at Nancho Junction.
And still in line with the Bamenda incident that led to the killing of several civilians over the weekend, political actors have greatly condemned the action. Finwick Crispin gathered some of their reactions in the following report.
Full Godfred is militant of the ruling Cameroon People's Democratic Movement, the CPDM party. Filled with so much anger, he attests justice must be served.
No matter where they are today, I'm very sure those guys are going to be disguised, because it is not normal that people who leave their houses and suddenly they find themselves the other way just because there are people who have become inhuman, because there are people who have become animals, because there are people who think they can create their own countries in their mind. And I said all those atrocities, they are going to pay for them.
Over to the Social Democratic Front Party, Emmanuel Tonga blames the present rulers for the happenings in the two English-speaking regions.
This BS regime don't want to accept that there is war in Anglophone areas. They must accept that it's time to sit and make definitely peace. If they don't make peace, this problem will never finish, and many Cameroonians of both sides will almost lose their life. Many Anglophones will never more have peace in their birthland.
On his part, Honorable Kupit Adamu of the Cameroon Democratic Union explains that appropriate solutions should be taken in order to tackle the long-lasting socio-political crisis.
The solutions that have been implemented by government until now are not efficient. We must change the politics of the management of the situation. We should look forward what we can do in order to climb to the very end of this situation. I regret the death of 10 of our compatriots, and I think they will rest in peace. I give my total and sincere condolences to all their families, and I think God should help us that this can never be happen again.
It is important to mention that the Anglophone crisis have led to the deaths of several civilians and many displaced in and out of the country.
Indeed, Friedrich Crispin. And still to come on this news edition, human rights activists firmly condemn the rights of children which are being violated as they are being sported hawking in the nation's capital.
This is what we call child exploitation, because normally a child at that age is not supposed to do this type of activities. These activities exposes these children to violence, aggression, to rapes.
You are listening to the 2 p.m. News on Royal FM 88.4. Onto our economy, a good number of experts see Cameroon's economy can be revamped if abandoned companies are being reopened with a good managerial team. And to find out how feasible this could be, Chene Constantine is an economist.
In Cameroon, there are so many projects that have been abandoned. You have like the Womb Area Development Authority, WADA, that used to produce cows, dairy products, and they were more involved in farm works, the production of rice and corn. We have ONAREV that was involved in timber. We have PowerCam that was in West Cameroon involved in the production of electricity. We have the Semri rice farms in the north. We have the Chico WAF. We have the Bokito Primary School construction. We have the Njimbam Medical Primary School in Fumban. We have the Medical Center in Batsenga in the Lekie. These are all businesses that have been abandoned by government. When a company is normally abandoned by government when it has made persistent losses over the years. So it means that the company becomes insolvent or it has gone bankrupt. Now, in legal terms, a company goes bankrupt when it has lost 70% of its capital or it can no longer repay its debts. And once the government abandons such businesses, the productive resources are wasted. In the second place, will be rising unemployment. The government will have less revenue from its businesses. The crime wave will increase. The banks that must have accorded loans to these businesses will find it difficult to balance their accounts, and some of them may even go bankrupt. It is very, very painful. And much of it is due to corruption in these government businesses and embezzlement of funds by the officials that are there. It is a very painful aspect, and so the government must sit up to make sure that all these malpractices are stopped.
The economist Chene Constantine reacting there. Children are seen as vital element of development, so their well-being in the society is an index of social, economic, and political development. But majority of these children aged 5 to 8 are often denied this right, as some parents involve them in different forms of income-generating activities, one of which is hawking. But how do other parents perceive these children rights violation? As student journalist Bate Bridget tells us more in this report.
It is a phenomenon that has been occurring, and some parents see it as a bad habit as it exposes children to many aspects, one of which is kidnapping.
I think that's an irresponsible act, because as a mother, I cannot send my child to be selling around the market. I'll prefer to do it by myself, because the child is more exposed to many bad stuff like accidents, and nowadays there are many kidnappings. So there are many stuff. The child is not yet mature enough.
As regard to this, other parents say children trafficking is mostly done through this act of sending children of young age to sell.
I strongly stand against this act because it exposes the children to very bad things such as kidnapping, road accident, in which we can see an increasing rate of child trafficking since they can't defend themselves from kidnapper. So I am on the point that parents should not send their children to go and sell in some big market. They can go and never return.
This act is not satisfactory to some parents, but they say it might be circumstances that pushes parents to send their children of such age.
I'm not okay with that. It is not a good act of sending children of such age to sell, but we can understand that it is circumstances that make parents to send their children of that age to sell. So actually, we will not blame the children, we will not blame the parents.
However, children of early age should be given full right of relaxation and not hawking.
In regard to these income-generating activities that kids embarked on, our reporter Christian Mando cornered a human rights activist in the person of Eva Itonge-Mayer to know the mechanism put in place at the level to fight this phenomenon. Here is her report.
The human rights activist Eva Itonge-Mayer starts by condemning the fact that the child's right is not respected in our society by most parents.
This issue of little children selling things in the street is very abnormal. It's a type of child exploitation because normally a child at that age is not supposed to do this type of activities because these activities exposes these children. Even in our legislation, you cannot have a child to work under the age of 14.
To help curb this problem, the human rights activists outlined some actions carried out by some organizations at different levels.
What organizations are doing is they are trying to sensitize children. They are trying to do a lobbying towards ministry who are supposed to take care of this issue for them to bear their responsibility on this issue, to do action they have to do. At times also some organizations try to encourage parents to try to initiate different activity for the children.
Though all these efforts are being made, the economic context of the country do not favor a total change of the situation, just as it gets worse every day.
So many parents will tell you that this is the only way for them to succeed, to send their children to school for the next year. So it's a very complex matter. This is why you are seeing that years after years, the phenomenon is there. You don't have the impression that the matter is decreasing. Instead, you have the impression that even those people are speaking about it, instead increasing.
To better fight this social illness, the Cameroon Human Rights Commission and the Cameroonian Network of Civil Society Organizations for Children's Rights have decided to unite, collaborate, and work together.
And as holidays fever is heightening up in the nation's capital, and some Yaoundé city dwellers are enjoying the season of plums which are found in our market. By so doing, the sale of plums have gained grounds. Plums consumers are more often spotted around plum shelves or those who sell roast plums around the street. In this light, our student journalist Ebanda Leon went down the streets of Yaoundé to corner some plums lovers to find out how these vendors conserve these plums before selling it to them. Take a listen to what he had to say.
The color of the plum and hygiene mostly attract Eric, who is a consumer of this fruit.
It's a vegetable, a fruit that is constantly where there is a lot of germs, so you have to buy the plums and go with it home and wash it. So as for me, my quality, I just buy the plums that are very black and that are not sour. That's how I buy my plums. I don't usually care about the surroundings.
Florida, on her part, usually asks the vendor where the plums are coming from because for her, plums from Yaoundé are more better and suitable.
I always at times ask wherever the plums are coming from. At times there are some who used to say their plums are coming from the villages around this Yaoundé. Some are coming from Bafia, some are coming from North and Makenene. There are plums that are coming from North that are so clean and shine. Also plums from Bafia and Makenene. Those that are coming from the villages in this town, when you see them, they are small, but they are nice.
Moreover, according to Samantha, plums which come from village is much more better and cheap.
Before buying a plum, I take note of, first of all, the size, because I love big plum, the one that is dark. Yes, I love it. And before buying, even though the size is as I like, I usually ask the seller from where he takes his plum, either from the village or town, or he has a plum tree in his compound. Yes, that's why I usually ask. But plum from the village, I think for me is better. It's nicer than what is found in town.
All in all, this fruit mostly attract everybody who pass near it to stop.
Remaining society to talk about the fact that some Cameroonians have turned to aggressive people they meet on their ways using titles like mother, uncle, auntie or father. These mentality have gained steam so much so that many refute these titles and prefer that they should be called by their names. And in line with these growing phenomenon, our newsroom cornered a sociologist in the person of Alium Nicola to find out the analysis he makes in line with these growing titles in our society. Take a listen.
Those names calling and the rest attribute is a sign of respect for other people, and for some that ignore the kind of respect, if some people are not ready to take maybe those appellations, it's because we are losing the cultural value of our African cultures. Because in African culture, normally we don't call elder with their names. It's prohibited. You either call him with the name of his child, or rather maybe there are some names that are being given. But if some people are refusing just because we are breaking the chain of our culture, I think this is the simple truth about it.
Away from Cameroon, Cameroon is today joining other nations to observe Nelson Mandela International Day, which aims at reminding the contributions of Mandela to the culture of peace, human rights, reconciliation and freedom of the minority of population worldwide. The day, which is celebrated every July 18 to encourage everyone to take action so as to inspire change. Eratus Dwe spoke with an internationalist to find out if the values left by the philanthropist are still respected and compiled this report.
Celebrated under the United Nations campaign of Act Now, which is believed to inspire people to act for sustainable development goals, Agbo Marshall, an internationalist, says it will be important that when celebrating the Mandela's Day, one should put in mind the ultimate philanthropic achievement for the South African nation.
Nelson Mandela fought very hard for the liberation of the black people in South Africa. And when we talk of apartheid, we are referring to what that racial discrimination that was being manifested by the white settlers. And the apartheid was very brutal against the black people. But Nelson Mandela, he said no to it.
Marking Mandela's 105th birthday celebrated under the theme Legacy Live On Through You, Climate, Food and Solidarity, the internationalists add that if this is possible, it will be thanks to the legacy he left behind.
A spirit of determination, perseverance, and only perseverance could take a politician to stay in prison for 27 years, not 27 days. If not, he would have compromised for his liberation. And after all, like some of our opposition parties in Cameroon, in Central Africa, and French Sub-Saharan Africa, that everyone for his or herself. But no, South Africa was free from the racial discrimination.
With the persistent increase in xenophobia and the killings of blacks that continues to be on a rise in that part of the country, the internationalist Agbo Marshall decries the incapability of the country to work towards national inclusion.
It is so sad that we are still seeing some of the particles being manifested right away. But what are
duty to protect this environment?
And in more foreign news, Joseph Kabila, former president of the Democratic Republic of Congo, has rejected accusation from neighboring Uganda that he gave sanctuary to an Islamist rebel group and allowed it to exploit mineral resources. The Ugandan leader Yoweri Museveni said Mr. Kabila had allowed the allied democratic forces to set up large camps and might goal. And in sport, the president of FECAFOOT, Samuel Eto'o, has announced FIFA donation of $6.5 million, estimated at 3.7 billion francs CFA, after a FIFA fund audit. He made the revelation this morning during a press briefing at the Federation's headquarters. The money will be used to construct community stadium and company government in her action toward the promotion of football. This financial package is part of the FIFA Forward 3.0 program, which helps in promoting the local football, to promote local football in member countries. And in more sport news, Evans William Jobati is here with us, Sport 5. Good afternoon, Evans.
Good afternoon.
You have with you some results of the National Football Interpros competition that was played yesterday at the Annex A Olympic Stadium.
The two matches in Group A saw Union Sportive of Abongbang beat Sporting of Marwa 1-0. The goal scored at the 21st minute of play from Johnson Sumanberry of Union Sportive of Abongbang put his team on a safe side. Let's listen to him as he spoke to Raya FM.
Opponent is strong, but na God they give win. Everything na God. So we play like just man to man. I'm so happy to win because I have my God for heart desire. He just giving the heart desire. And that first goal, it surprised me. I'm not think I can score that goal, but my God doing it. I'm so happy to win. Last time I fight make you put me, but fortunately them not put me. I say make I come, make I put everything for God. So God give me the chance. I just prove myself, and I believe next match will be fine. Better than this one.
On the second match of the day, still at the Olembe Annex A Stadium, Isles of Hope Sports Academy Isosa drew in a 1-1 all tie with Volcan of Noon. Volcan of Noon now tops the group with 4 points, closely followed by Union Sportif of Abongbang with 4 points, Isosa 2 points, Sporting of Marwa and Academinium 2 both have 0 points. Let us listen to some reactions gotten from that game.
You know, Volcan of Noon is a very good side, and people have rated them as the favorite after their first game. I told you in the beginning that we are coming to give them a run for their money, and you can see our boys have given all what they can give. They are just unfortunate today. We played today better than what we did in the first game. I believe that we are progressing gradually. They have taken the temperature of the competition. Now we are going for the third game, and I believe in all believe that they will do it for the next game. It's football. There are times that even the Kylian Mbappé and the Messi don't do it for their club. Today was not a bright day for them, but they contributed enormously. Afafa scored the goal. We cannot cancel that. He keep on give us the lead. Tiku make an assist. I think they have done what they can do. We just keep working and keep hoping that the next game should be better than the first. You saw our first game. You know that the second game is better than the first. We keep progressing, and the engine is 10. We are right inside the competition. Why not? With 2 points, the first team has 4 points. We have all of us have 5 games to play. I think 2 teams with 4 points. If we win our next game, we go to 5 points, and with the last one, we are going to qualify. But we came to pick the ticket, and we shall go for it.
We did something as we draw. The match was so intense, but with the grace of God, we came back in the second half, and we tried our best to get a draw. But we hope at the next match you more give the intent to the third point. If we can cross the second the semi-final, we are proud for us. We are proud, and we hope with our supporter and all the rest that are encouraging us, we will do our best to cross and take that the first position of the table.
The two matches of the National Interpost continues today in Group B at the Olembe Annex B Stadium, with the ongoing match Bafme United opposed to Olympic B1 Bani, while Gaundore FC will want to try the break against Creamy FC at 3 p.m. prompt. Bafme United tops the table with 3 points, having 2 goals differences, while Gaundore FC comes in second, followed by Puma FC, Olympic B1 and Creamy, all with 0 points. It is important to note that the South Regional Champions, Olympic B1 Bani, are playing their first match today, while Puma FC of Douala are on standby.
Let's now have the news summary in the French language with Olivier Ndema-Epo. Good afternoon, Olivier.
Good afternoon, GERMAINE TAH. Une dizaine de morts et 2 blessés, tel est le bilan d'une attaque